Okay, my first question is, what is the rationale for staying from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the Parliament sitting? Will it help to prevent the spread of COVID-19 with a half-day sitting? And second question is, regarding the cases involving the Dewan Rakyat officer, how many cases has been detected, and are these new cases formally clustered? Thank you.
In general, if you look into our advisory, is that avoid crowded places and confined spaces. So if you are in a crowded places, and the longer you are exposed in a crowded places, then the higher the chances of you get infection. Provided if there's a positive case, for example. So if there's a positive case, the tendency of infection is high. So what we are doing is that we are doing a screening for all parliamentarians 3 days before, screening for them, and then make sure that even the staff that is working in Parliament need to be screened. Today we found out that, for example, the auxiliary policeman, one was positive, and then we contact tracing the three of his colleagues also positive, and the wife also positive. So already 5 cases there. And one working with the media also noted positive, and we are screening the family, 7 of them, so the results not back yet. For the Yang Berhormat Senator, her assistant positive, but we have actually identified 12 of them, and although assistant positive, they may be in an incubation period, we're not sure, so we have quarantined all 12 of them. So we are waiting for the results for all 12 of them. So if you can see that if the screening that been done is only at the time that they are screened, and they are exposed now, for example, the parliamentary session is 6 weeks. 6 weeks, that means they are exposed to the outside in a hotel and etc. So we do not know who is positive, who is not. We do not know who is the carrier unless we do testing every 2 weeks, for example. So this is a challenge for us. But screening, for example, yeah, we are doing the screening, but you only pick up about 30 to 40% those who have symptoms. But we all know that the infection, it could be asymptomatic, no symptom at all. So the transmission, that means the infectivity is 2 days before the symptoms and 7 days after the symptoms. So about 9 days, this is the time taken for infectivity. So it's not positivity, but infectivity. So the risk is always there. But how do we manage the risk? So to manage the risk, you follow our advisory, the 3C and the 3W. So we hope that those attending the Parliament session, they have to comply to the SOP. The compliance is very important. For example, now we have a partition, and make sure the distance about 1 meter, and make sure that you wash your hand all the time, put on a mask. So we do not know who is the one that is positive. More so, if they're exposed, we also realize that during lunch, for example, if it's a buffet lunch, etc., there's a risk of transmission there. So this is the experience that we learned from other countries, and we have seen infection being spread during the buffet, for example, weddings, in hotels, and etc. So these are all the precautionary measures that we need to take so that to protect our parliamentarians, as well as make sure that we can actually break the chain of COVID infection in this country.